All right. Let's turn the music down some. Do you guys like the new overlays? I think they're pretty sweet. I like them. They're clean. What's everybody been doing? It's been a while. We had a whole nationals, U.S. nationals that I only played in and did not day two, unfortunately. It is what it is. My CC was great. My draft was not as good. But what are you gonna do? I just need to practice a little bit more, right? So today, you guys saw the title of the stream is the implications of the new living legend, right? So what does that mean for me? The decks I'm going to be playing, but I want to like lead into this stream with talking a little bit about my nationals recap, right? So if you guys are happy to hear, then I'm happy to tell. So I ended up with Florian. I'm more than happy to share that list. I'll show you exactly what I played, and I felt good about it. I was between a couple of decks. I was between Maria and Florian, and then I also obviously considered like actual Guardian, but I ended up on the better Guardian at this stage because it has a pretty good new matchup. Now I wouldn't say it's favorite or anything like that. I think it's still pretty difficult, at least at that stage, but you know, it's just kind of tricky to play around, but it had the best chances out of like my Guardians, right? And then with Mario, practiced that deck a lot. Practiced it a lot, and I ultimately decided against it because it is a very difficult deck to play optimally, right? Now, I could see the lines with it. My main issue was missing all of the triggers, so I played it in person a little bit, played some armories with it, and I was just missing triggers a lot, and I didn't want to risk, you know, going to a tournament. spending a whole bunch of money to be there, and missing triggers and losing the game on the spot because of that. And Mario is one of those decks where that can happen. If you play perfectly, you can beat anything, but if you miss like one trigger or something along those lines, it can be pretty bad. But let's move over to this screen. So like I said, I ended up playing Florian, had a great time. My tournament was round 1, played against KO. It was a very tight game. The guy I was playing against ended up day 2ing the calling, so they did not day 2 either, unfortunately for them, but they day 2 the calling, so that's great. I saw him at the top table because I was rooting on Jason and Alex from Team City. Jason Rolf and Alex G2. We're both top it, right? So super cool, super happy for them. But yeah, played KO. It was a very weird, like, back and forth game. Plow Under was busted because they were able to Arsenal and Blood Rush Bellows. I played Plow Under. They didn't get to play one. Another one they discarded, and then at the end of the game, they ended up having to block with one because I was just presenting too much damage, right? So yeah, that was a good round 1. It was still closer than I'd like to admit. They had like a pretty crazy swing big turn where they played I forget the name of the card, but if you discard a 6, it doubles the base power of the next thing you play. They did that on a swing big, and it was like, what the heck? So it was a big deal. Next round, I played against a Slippy. Okay, so one of the main reasons to play Florian is it has a pretty good assassin matchup. You know, reasonable, but the other ones pretty good, right? So I ended up losing, and you know, I just getting outvalued, and you know, I'd assess the turns, block in a certain way. They would code, so I would have a bunch of D-reacts or a bunch of 2 blocks. You know, I can come up with a bunch of excuses. Ultimately, I feel like I got outplayed, which is fine. Like, you know, they played very well, and you know, you got to learn from the mistakes, obviously, right? They did have a super crazy banger turn where it was like bonds into 2 Justin Nick and a Shred, and I was like, well, you got me there. That's 14 damage and get rid of a card from my hand. That's nuts. They're nuts. So yeah, ultimately I lost that game. It was closer than it sounds, though. I actually got on the single digits, and I was grinding them out with my basically Guardian deck, so felt pretty good. Let's see. Next round. Gosh, what was the next round? Oh, it was a Florian Mirror. I played a Florian Mirror. They were on basically the Mengucci list, so if you guys have seen the Mengucci list, it's the one with a bunch of Channel Millennium trees, and you know, like Autumn's Touch, and just playing mid-range value, no Channel Mount Heroics or anything like that, which I am playing, as you can see. And I am just solely based on Tunic, so I've been seeing a lot of lists kind of lean towards the only Tunic and not playing Bart Skin. I really like Bart Skin. I wanted to play it, but ultimately decided after talking with some people and do testing that Tunic in general, with how you want to draw games, ended up being a little bit better. And it was definitely insane in the mirror, like playing Tunic as they were playing like Bart Skin, or I think they might have played Dyadic Carapace. I think they played Dyadic Carapace, but either way, you know, blocking chest, and me being able to send Reaping Blade for Tunic, no cards in hand, just use it for blocking, get efficiency out of that, and then being able to play some of your 2-cost cards while using Grasp when you're turned on, so you can make 2 rune chants. It's just good value, right? So that game was not particularly close. Sorry if my opponent is watching, but you know, I was like 20 something by the time they died. Now I did decompose faster than them, but they were kind of on par, just like on track, getting decomposed like basically the turn after. But yeah, having the Tunic and the channels and not to extract the value there was a big deal. Next round, I play against Terrence. Your last name escapes me, so I apologize, but they were on Celio, and I played Terrence many times. He's I believe he's from the South area like I am, so I've seen him at different tournaments and whatnot. Played against him a few times, and Acelia is one of those, like Wizard in general is pretty scary for Florian because they can just kind of get you. But Acilio is probably the one I want to see the most out of all of them, right? So it was still a super tight game. I had to like basically play out of my mind and be able to survive like the potential combo turns and all that kind of stuff. One really funny situation I had is I was playing Summer's Fall. I had one Arsenal. I drew a Plow Under. I was able to disrupt him this turn, so I just drew up Plow Under, like trot along in a couple of blues. And, you know, they ended up having to pass back. And I Plow Under. Do not trigger, or sorry, I trot on Plow Under, don't trigger, 6 go again into play Summer's Fall, 6, no trigger again. So I like play these decompose cards, but don't trigger them because he's low enough health that I know I can get most of the cards out of their hands. So I thought that was kind of neat. You know, it was pretty fun, right? At this point, I'm 3-1. Last round I played against Fang. Learned something very new. You would think that I would know this at this point, but if you Summer's Fall targeting one of their fealties, they can break the fealty in response, and that will stop your decompose trigger, like entirely. So, yeah, it can put you back if you're not prepared for that. Now, for me, I wasn't that upset about it because they were on 3 fealty, and I dropped them back down to 2, which means that, you know, they can't swing their daggers for free, which is great. So, again, you know, not a big deal. Was able to get turned on shortly after and then play kind of an equal value style game. They eventually got their 3 fealty, but you know, I was also turned on, so it didn't bother me that much. Yeah, so learned a few things from there. Another thing, while I'm thinking about it too, with Rootbound Carapace, if you're playing against Celio and you use Rootbound Carapace and you decompose on a Gone in a Flash, they play an instant speed to bounce back, you won't get the decompose trigger either, which is kind of cool. So, yeah, so end of CC, I was 4-1, feeling pretty good, and as you guys have probably seen, we do the draft camps and whatnot, and I usually do pretty okay at those. I went 6-6 at this last draft camp, and then I've played some other drafts, and you know, every single one I played after that, especially the ones in Vegas, where we were practicing, I was going 2-1 or 3-0 respectively, right? So did a few of those, so I was feeling pretty confident. Well, I get in a situation where I'm getting past all these good gravy cards. I decide on gravy, you know, like early to middle of pack 1, right? And then the person passing me also decides they want to go gravy. My deck ended up being pretty good, but, you know, it just is what it is. Like the way the game's played out, you know, they're playing Battalion Barks and I'm over here blocking and not doing a whole bunch back. It's just kind of the nature of the draft situation. So lessons learned from that. For Worlds, I'm going to be practicing limited significantly more than probably anything else that I'm doing. So lots of limited practice. Lots of draft practice, and then I got to practice some LL too, because everybody knows we got to play some LL at Worlds. I'm kind of excited about it though. We'll have to talk about the different things that we could be doing in LL. I think Starvo and Oldham are still reasonable picks for sure. Starvo more so, in my opinion. Some of my teammates have differing opinions, so we'll see. We just got to test it and see what happens. But yeah, let's talk about my Florian list, since we've been talking about it so far. Well, before I do that, I did play the calling. 5-3 did not day 2, and then day 3 at the Battle Heart and all that kind of stuff, just rooting on the team and rooting for Jason and Alex to do well in the calling. They did. And Jason ends up winning it, man. Good for him. And then also watching Bajan, feel super happy for him as well. Super awesome seeing all these guys that you've been playing with for years do really well, right? And these are all great people. Love them all. But anyway, this Florian list, okay? So it is a mono tunic. I say mono tunic. Anytime I'm not playing AB, I'm playing tunic, right? And this deck is even better now that new is gone. It's just one less like mid matchup that you have to worry about. And not that you really ever bothered with not playing like blue attacks or anything like that, but now you don't have to worry about that and worry about, like, you can play Seeds of Tomorrow, for instance, or you can play more some Harvest or anything like that, which I do have on the board, and not worry about like a new, just, you know, having some crazy combo turn later in the game and blowing you out. So yeah, Face Purgatory, everything else is like pretty standard that you would expect. It's just Tunic instead of Bark Skin. There's no Bark Skin in the list at all. And then Dread Scythe, Diagrapus, and Norman Boost. So Pierre from Team Sigil was playing a very similar list to this. We were probably, I don't know, a handful of cards off. And I wasn't Dread Scythe before, but after talking with him, I kind of got convinced to do that, because the big thing was this is tech against Jarl. And that's like basic. But Jarl is a semi-difficult matchup if you don't have this, because the moment they blow up your Grasp, which is your whole way that you extract value late game with your Reaping Blade, you don't really have ways to benefit off of your channel Millennium Trees or anything like that. So the way you do extract value off of that is by playing Dread Scythe. They can't blow up your weapon, and this always is going to do Arcane, so you get value out of your channels, right? And that made a lot of sense to me after it was explained to me. Yeah, I argued a lot. You know, I play Devil's Advocate all the time whenever I'm having discussions like this. And the more I thought about it, I was like, all right, it's just one card. We can play one card and do something and make a matchup that would be theoretically unfavored to being favored. So yeah, the rest of the deck, like I said, is kind of standard. You're playing 3 channels. You know, some lists are playing those, some lists aren't. In a gravy meta, I think you want to be proactive, right? And that's kind of what I was thinking about at Nats. Is I didn't feel like you could cut this card. And then the biggest thing that I was going back and forth on was the number of blues and what kinds of blues you want. Now, obviously, some of these are just kind of, yeah, you always play your Autumn's Touch, you always play your Everblooms and whatnot. They're just free blocks, they're Earth, you know, Fruits of the Forest, that kind of stuff. Trot Along makes sense, 3-block non-attack. The other were like the ratios for the Flourishes and Rune Rager. I wasn't on Rune Rager for a little bit. I was trying to stir the Wildwood. And while it was like really cool, I love that card. I think that card is super cool. It's better in a more mid-range oriented, where you want to outvalue on a turn-by-turn basis, as opposed to have burst damage, where you really need the burst into things like Gravy, right? So that's why I kind of landed on these. Strength is really good. I like this card a lot. It's with Tunic, a 2-card 8 on blue, which is really, really gross. And you can arsenal this. It only takes 4 cards to be decomposed, so like it turns on faster than your hero ability. It's a pretty decent card. Then the only decompose that I went with on the blue side was the Summer's Fall. And there is an argument for Daver's Tilling, but I like having the Aura Disruption just base in this. And again, with the Tunic, it's a 2-card 6, right? Which with Cadaverous, it's also a 2-card 6. So it's just one less resource, and you don't require Tunic or anything like that. We landed on 2 Bramble Spark. I was on 3, I was on none, I was on Malefic Incantation. But Bramble Spark just being like a little extra damage push against things like Gravy, you know, and being able to slam that onto your CNCs, or when you're playing Azalea to make your CNCs bigger and things, and whatever else. I really like this. It's kind of like front pump pummel, but without the disruption. But it's also split damage, and it costs 0, right? So like lots of good things. Works really well with your decompose. I don't need to sing the praises of this card. You guys know what this does. A 1 root bound Carapace landed on that, so that was based on the blue base. So I went on a blue and then went up on the root bound Carapace, because a lot of the decks were running, I think, 28 blues. I went down to 27 and then went with more root bound, and it actually mattered a pretty good amount, just being able to have some consistent defensive decompose. Glad you see the light. Yep. Florian is good. I like Earth Heroes in general. That's basically what the stream is going to be about, is like the Earth Heroes. After I get through talking about my Nats list and all that. But yeah, just to supplement the rest of the package, since I'm playing Channel Mount, we're playing Rune Rager Swarm. Runic Reclamation is good for the mirrors, and you know, good for Verdances when they have their rows out. They want to keep cards, and you have to force cards out potentially. You know, it's not amazing there, but it's pretty good, and it's good against Fang. Sure, they can pop the fealty, but you know, you don't get hosed like you would with the Summer's Falls. But Summer's Fall, ultimately, the reason I'm on 3 is it's epic pose when I don't want to be playing this defense reactions. Sink Below, Shelter the Storm. 10 defense reactions felt really good. Super happy with that. And then the story behind my harvest is this allows you to keep your channels out a little bit longer. So if you know, have whatever random arsenal, draw a tome, you draw a blue earth, you draw 3 cards. Generally, you will draw another earth because the earth ratio in this deck is really high, and you're going to keep whatever channel out, either Millennium Tree or Mount Heroic, for additional turn that you may not have been able to otherwise. So, and then AB3 on the board. This makes sense, right? So yeah, this deck was really good in testing. Let's see. Results. I only have 11 games here on this specific version. But, you know, I have other iterations where I went back and forth. Was doing well into Gravy, into Team Gravy, and these are all, like, team testing. And, besides Marlin, I was just playing some random Marlins online, but, like, Acelios and Victors and whatnot. Just a solid deck. Very solid. Am I going to Pro Tour? Asking for a friend. I am not going to the Pro Tour. Not going to Singapore. It's a little out of the way. It costs a lot of money to get out there. So I'll be at Worlds for sure, and I'm gonna try to go to Kansas City because obviously it's gonna be Guardian Mastery Pack, and when that's out, you know, I want to like play with some new cards. It'd be kind of cool. Okay, so we have talked about my Nats list. New is gone. This is good for every Earth Hero period, right? So Verdance. Really happy the news gone. That was a bad matchup. And then Jarl, you get to actually restructure your deck, and that's amazing, right? It's just amazing that you can like play decent blues now. So we can talk a little bit about Verdance. I'll show Majin's list real quick. This is the one that I've been testing a little bit, and I really like the way that it's structured. I mean, this deck is just like, it's probably the best deck in the game, right? So catch up on some chat. You get a chance, can you your opinion on the awkward top 8 Verdance versus Florian match where both players didn't want to make game action? Do you think there is a good way to fix this issue? I've been in that situation on both sides because I like their hero, so I played both when Verdance and Florian first came out. Played a lot of Verdance to start. She was not performing as well as Florian, so I went to Florian, and it's the same thing, right? So like, there is a state of the game where as either hero, it is bad to actively attack because whoever it has to attack ends up losing. So how do they fix that? I don't really know. In a way, like it had to be like some kind of rule change or something. But honestly, like the way that it was handled in top 8, I think it's probably the best outcome that we have right now. I don't know. I have to think about that more. We'll get back to you on that. All right, what's your game plan into Gravy? All right, we'll go back to the Florian list since people are asking. The game plan in the Gravy. So I have a lot of buttons here, and this should be on the Patreon if you guys want this list. I would 100%. If I had like a nationals or something like that, I'd bring this list again. If I decided on this, either that or Verdance or something. But if I was gonna play Florian, I would play this specifically. So Gravy, where is Gravy? Here's Gravy. So into Gravy, I'm playing all the trees, lots of extra aggression just built in. and then I'm not playing any of the Aura Hate and the extra defense reactions I didn't really want to play. So just flat 60, I'm trying to be aggressive, and I am clearing allies when it is efficient to do so. You know, I'm trying to felling their Humperdinks and, you know, plow under their things and get the extra value off of the triggers, because they say each hero don't specify defending hero, right? So these are uninteractive, right? So Rootbound Carapace is still fantastic. They obviously are attacking you, so you're going to be able to decompose in that situation. The big thing that you probably wouldn't think would be as good. So Channel Mount Heroic is great for pressuring them and pressuring their hand, but the way that I win these games the majority of the time is with the tree, right? Because in a way, like with Channel, you're able to hit them hard or clear multiple allies a little bit easier because you have swarmies. You can kill like a chum and then like attack something with your sword. This, when you're attacking their allies, as long as you make a rune chant, you're also doming them for 4, because a lot of times they're either on AB1 or AB0, right? So this card was a big deal to get the wins. So, and just getting extra value. The Strength of 4 Seasons was also very strong in that matchup, because you decompose like semi-frequently, or regularly, I should say, is probably the better way to put it. But decompose rate does go down a little bit because we're not playing these Summer's Fall. But you know, being able to see these, or you know, play pretty much anything is fine. Like, as long as it's not Plow Under, I'm happy to play a felling on the first decompose set if I have to against Ivy, because I can use it to clear an ally and then still get the disruption value off of that. But ultimately, I didn't really find it that terrible. I mean, it can get out of hand, but as long as you're playing efficiently, it's usually fine. So back to Nat's Verdance. So I think this deck is probably just like, it might just be the best deck in the game right now. Until, I don't even know. But yeah, I just think this deck is like stupid strong. Maybe not this specific version, but this is the one that I like the most currently. The Majin list. Just having, this card is crazy. I mean, this card is just a 3 for 6. It extends your range, so you have 2 blues this card, and then your Waning Moon, you just kill somebody when they're at 9, just out of nowhere. They, you know, extend their hand out. You know, they don't have resources or AB or whatever. They're dead, right? It's just Cadaver Stilling kind of goes, and you're just playing like a Bowl Lander style game plan where you're here's my 2-card 8, and then I'm going to get some block value, and then I'm going to combo you out, or I'm going to mid-range you out with the Arcane Leaks, right? Command and Conquer, E-Strike. E-Strike is really, really strong in this deck. I know I've heard some people talk about this card not being played potentially, and playing like Fondle's Fighting Spirit instead of it. I don't really agree with that, because if you're playing the potion plan, it's actually like pretty big for you to, when you're keeping a hand and you want to play your potions out, to send something, you know, like go N5 and then be able to play your potion, which is, you know, obviously that's fantastic. That's kind of a warrior thing that happens too. I know Josh does that if he gives his Dawnblade go again or something, and then he just like ends the turn with a time snap or something. Yeah, the old tech, but it is definitely something that used to happen. Then the red fruits I was a big fan of too. This is actually pretty good in the gravy as well, because when they drop a Humperdinck, you have another 7 that you can clear it with. So, and I feel pretty good into gravy with this style of deck. I mean, you got the machine gun with this. You just go like, okay, blow up your Rigor Mortis, blow up your Limpet, you know, ping something else. I don't know, just anything, and then you just clear all the stuff. It's so good. So good. Middle block, great. I've been playing a little bit more of this card as well. Haven't played this I haven't played this at all, because when I was playing Verdance early days, I wasn't playing this card, I don't believe. But just having extra ponders, like pretty much any card in this deck, okay arsenaling for the most part, unless it's like Emeritus Scolding, but even then I'd probably do it depending on the state of the game. And then Everbloom obviously is the other new card that's, you know, busted in half. If you're playing Sigil in the board, you can get things back like Felling of the Ground, but being able to loop itself and have a way to present damage against something like Gravy where they don't inherently have a way to attack you with like a weapon or something like that, you can actually close out the game. You can go to a draw state, which is kind of nice. But yeah, I use this a lot to get things back like E-Strike. If your ring gets popped, you can get it back. Lots of cool things that you can do with it. And then, you know, obviously Heartbeat with this can lead into getting more failings back if you're playing mid-range plan. Or a Burn Bear, you know. This card is crazy. Like, you want this card in the gravy for sure. If you can get this out, like, you're pinging everything. It's so good. Yeah, so I really like that you have an extra healing pot, basically. So that's kind of why I'm leaned into this. I just, you know, that's traditionally what I started with, was playing the healing pot combo when she first came out. Kind of fell in love with that, but then again, it wasn't like the best out of the hero options that I was playing, so it's kind of tabled her for a little bit. But now with the extra healing pot, like, your damage range for combo, if somebody's trying to fatigue you, is just ridiculous. It's so crazy. So yeah, best deck, even better now with Nugon. But this is what everybody really wants, right? At least from me, I would think. Is a deck like the No New Party Time. You know, New's gone, the Guardians can celebrate. We can take our trumpets out and just start blasting. So this list is something that I put together and been testing a little bit. You know, I don't think I have a whole lot of results here. A lot to in the Celio, but this was before I like adjusted the game plan a little bit, and then I've tested a little bit some other variations of this, but not this specific one with this name. But I wanted to try playing Plume over a blocking hat, and it's been actually pretty insane. It's so good. This card is like really, really nuts. Being able to get a felling back, like when you need disruption to get something, is so strong. And being able to play the Bartskin kind of offsets your block value loss from not playing the hat, right? Because normally a deck like this would play, I don't know, like Civic Steps or Flexors, and then you have Tunic, and then you're playing like Crown of Providence, right? But when you play the Bartskin, then you get the extra 2 block that you would from the hat. You're actively wanting to block an extra with this, where the Tunic you really don't want to, if you can help it. And then you're getting the extra disruption value out of this, because this is, depending on certain matchups, will go up and lose. So the big thing with New being gone is you're able to play all of these good blue attacks that you normally wouldn't want to have in your deck, because you need the extra sideboard space for everything else, right? But now you can just supplement your blue base, and it's just infinitely better, right? So the thing for me, the most important ones, in my opinion, so far are Glacial Footsteps. You know, it's just a 6 for 8. You know, we got plenty of those. And there's no Macho in this list, because I value the 6 for 8 stat line. The 7 can be a little awkward, especially if you're playing the Bartskin, right? So, and this also gets the Fuse Dominate if it comes down to that. If you're able to keep an extra card, and it can close out the game anyway. And then Cranial Crush, also 6 for 8. It's just the other best option for the 6 for 8s. And it has relevant on hit, right? Or on crush, I should say. So, you know, your Blood Rush Bellows, you're playing against all these new pirate heroes, and they don't want to block this or whatever. Well, it is a blue that they theoretically have to block if they're going to do something, you know, with like Golden Tipple, or they're going to play 3 Oak if you're Marlin or something like that. It just makes it to where, like, hey, you know, these draw cards that you're trying to do to supplement your game plan won't work, right? Obviously, it just makes sense. So that's kind of why I landed on these. You could do some mix match, whatever you want, but the rest of these cards are kind of just like, it makes sense to play the other blue base cards that I have in this list, at least in my opinion. So Crumble, Everbloom is not a wizard card or a Runeblade card or whatever. You can play this in any hero, and this card is crazy good. It's just more attack 3-block blues that work with your Bark Skin. And then if you're playing Sigil, which, hey, you know, spoiler alert, I am playing some Sigils to be able to supplement that and play like a Felling the Crown or get it back. So it's like a 1-card, I guess 2-card combo where I'm gaining life and then I'm, you know, remembrancing back 1 Felling for super late game. So yeah, channels, extra channels, more auras, you know, some tutor effects for that. Kind of landed on this number of auras because I wanted to play the Rootbound Trunks. It also supplements the Decompose, so you can like basically guarantee, hey, I need to get Decompose. You can just plug this and make sense. Or, you know, if you can hold off and find one of these auras that you don't necessarily need to play, you get the extra embodiment from that, and you can block a little bit more. So, hello, good evening. Appreciate you hanging out and listening to me jabberjaw all over the place. I am doing just fine. I'm super excited that new is finally gone. The we gotta say depart the Mistspell instead of part the Mistspell. Get out of here. Get out of here, Mistspell. I was not the biggest fan of that set, but obviously because it's made these heroes not as playable. So yeah, imposing. We're still doing like the normal Jarl plan. We're going to blow up some stuff, have Frozen Death for that. And I am playing Titan's Fist here because we have all these extra 3-cost or higher cards in the blue base that make it a little more consistent. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then in the sideboard you have 21 total. So that's pretty good. It's pretty good. So my main board here is, you know, basically just all the cards that you know you're probably going to play. I'm not playing any pummel in this deck. I know that can be considered blasphemy as like a Guardian player, but when you're playing this much Decompose, and I don't know if you played it in a while, but when you're playing pummel with Felling and you draw those cards, you got to get rid of your pummel or you got to block with it. It feels bad. Your arsenal or your pummel and you find a plow under, then it just feels bad, right? But there's a lot of feels bads that can happen with that. So we're just not playing it. I don't think you really need it anyway. You think that the Gravy will be the next gatekeeper that will stop Guardians? Necessarily. I think there's a lot of tools to deal with Gravy. Especially Jarl, being able to blow up the compass. And if you have ways to consistently clear, then you should be able to match their value, get the win, right? Hopefully that makes sense. And that's why you're playing things like closing to make sure that that happens. But the nice thing about this blue base is, notice every single card blocks for 3 except for fruits, but we want to play fruits because it's good with Oaken, and it's good turn 1 play. It fills your graveyard. Obviously, the card goes without saying. It's very good. So it's good against daggers, whatever, right? So super strong card. Everything else is 3 block. I was playing Winter's Bite over the chance, but I wanted more consistency with this. And again, it's a 3 block, so makes sense. It's good with Barton as well. So the rest of the deck, also you get to play Terra Sunder. That's something you couldn't play when New was around with your Guardian attacks, obviously, because you would just lose the game on the spot whenever they banish all that. Also happy that New is gone. Yes, I hope so. I hope so. For those of you who played New, sorry for your loss, but not sorry. Okay, so with the rest of the deck here, we have some more D-reacts and some block cards, so I have 8. I don't know if you've noticed this for people who have been following along for a while, but when I build decks and it's like mid-rangey like this, there's kind of a structure. The way I generally build, I just happen to find this, is I usually play around 9-ish defensive reaction stuff, right? So with Florian, it was 10. With this, it's 8. I also have sigils, so you can include that. Just kind of varies, right? So yeah, we're playing the root bounds, shelters, sigils for the Everbloom combo. It's also just a good card in Guardian, has been for a long time. E-Strike, playing some Rouse the Ancients with the rest of our stuff, because we have the 8s and 7s and 6s and whatnot. So it's like semi-consistent. And a lot of times, this is something you would want into Gravy, right? So you arsenal this, and you usually find what you need. And if you don't, it's usually okay to wait another turn. So Icequake, fantastic card. This is like my replacement. And I'm playing Tunic pretty much anytime I want to play Icequake, because I want to be able to go like Tunic, Icequake, filling the ground. I mean, obviously that's busted, right? And Icequake CNC off of a blue is also a fantastic line into some aggro decks, into things like Azalea, right? Then Arctic Incarceration. So because I'm not playing this wipe, I'm playing one copy of Arctic Incarceration to be able to have a pivot, right? I've thought about 2. I don't think there's anything wrong with 2. But 1, based on the way the deck is structured, has made the most sense so far. So, yep, everything else makes sense. Obviously, you're doing your mangle plan. You're bringing both of these in generally. Sometimes you bring this in without these if you're trying to be super hyper aggressive. Then Blizzards when I don't want to play the Rouses, right? So I'm just kind of like 2 for 2 swap. The rest of the board is just a bunch of equipment. And you can notice I'm on AB4, and that might look weird, but it's been really good. So when I'm playing against the Verdance, Tunic AB3 and Sledge has been really good, because it is a game that kind of can go, you know, chip for chip, and then late game I want to disrupt them out and play the Fellings to make it to where their combos are really annoying. You know, play your Terra Sunders and things like that. Into Acelio, I like playing Glyce and Boots and Hood with the gloves. That's been very, very strong. So in testing, and also Stalagmite Titan's Fist, right? Because they're more of an aggro. Then the last thing, the last one is Kano, and I just play all AB4, right? And you can potentially fatigue them. I was talking to Michael Metal on Discord, and you know, that's kind of where I got this inspiration from, was from him talking about playing Jarl and actually fatiguing some Kanos at the Calling. No, sorry, Battle Hardened. Vegas Battle Hardened. So yeah, he was doing well with that. Ed, what do you think about running Cold Snap and Jarl against Gravy to freeze the allies? I've thought about it. I've definitely thought about it. I'm valuing the reblocks and the consistency to get the compass gone a little bit more. You could potentially make room, but the thing is, you got to ask yourself what you're cutting for that. You're cutting Earth ratio cards. You're playing your Ice ratio cards. Like, you would have to cut something like maybe Channel to be able to do that. I don't think that's bad per se, but I don't know if it's helping that much. So, good evening. What's your opinion about Summit in the current state of the meta, besides it being inherently bad? Yeah, fair. So I think Summit's still fine. If you're playing like an Ice-centric build, I think it's still pretty solid. Like if we're in a meta where it's a bunch of Ninja, I think it's probably pretty good. Just right now, with it being a little more mid-range centric, I want to be more on this Deco's plan. And that's what's felt good to me, at least. So, let's look at some of the matchups I built. Just show you guys. Because why not? It's fun. So, into Azalea. I'm playing Tunic, and the reason I'm playing Tunic and not the extra block is because I'm playing Icequake. Because I have found that having a whole bunch of extra reactions and whatnot is just like, it's not amazing. It's not amazing. You want to be like somewhat proactive into them. A lot of times they'll dominate. Sigil is a way to get around that, to block additionally, as long as their on hit isn't like super annoying, and most of the time their on hit isn't going to be like that detrimental to you. It's just extra damage a lot of the time. So, and then the one Arctic Incarceration, you can arsenal that, buy back some tempo, and then clap back a little bit. Playing the Blizzards, I know they don't block, but sometimes they do like to go wipe. And other times it's an extra blue for your channels. So drop a channel, they, you know, have one single tear go across their face. Not super happy about it. All right. So Azalea, so I only have a few here. I believe you can see it because, yeah, it doesn't show up in the capture. So Azalea, Syndra, Gravy, grindy matchups, Kano, Mario, Celio, and Verdance. So the ones that I kind of like based my deck construction around. So against Syndra, it's very similar to the Azalea, except I'm playing Bark Skin. I want to have the extra value on the block. I'm playing the extra defense reactions because Shelter is a fantastic card against them. Be able to get around the Flick Knives, and having the extra defense reactions are always great. Not playing Sigils because you actively need to block their reactions. Icequake, while a good card, a lot of times you're having to block a decent amount and you need to claw back with something else. So it just doesn't play well when you're not playing Tunic a lot of times. It can, but you know, it's kind of hit or miss, and it ends up being a 2-block a lot. Then Rouse the Ancients obviously is not really for this kind of matchup, for the aggro stuff. Yeah, good night. One of my homies have been complaining about the Victor matchup against Fang, saying it's unwinnable. Do you agree? You're saying that the Victor matchup is unfavored into Fang? I don't necessarily agree. I think if Fang can beat any deck if they get online very quickly. Very quickly. So like if they are online within the first like few turns of the game, they're the best deck if they can't close out. Like no matter what. Like, they just do the best math. And it's the noob stomper deck for sure. But out of all the Guardians, besides, you know, Ice, obviously, Victor has a really good shot. Absolutely. I'll need to play it more. I haven't played it in a while, but at least in the past, when it was a little more fresh, I wasn't really having a whole lot of problems. But I was also like usually playing the Clash build where I'm drawing and pummeling like Spinal Crushes and whatnot. So no, I'm just playing mid-rank aggressive. All right, so yeah, Syndra. Typical game plan. Don't let them get the mass triggers if you can help it. And then try to send somebody back like Command and Conquer, play an Arctic, you know, clap back with a Open Old or Felling, and it's usually not too bad. Play Channel, they cry. Next is Gravy. So Gravy here should be probably Titan's Fist. Maybe not. Maybe not Titan's Fist. No, this one I kind of go back and forth on. I think it might be Sledge. Just because, like, once you blow up their compass, you want to be able to kill anything that they play other than a Humperdinck, but then you have cards that can also kill that. Playing aggressively into them, E-Strike, you're playing Tunic, obviously that makes it a little bit better. And then you're playing the Plume. Plume is really good in this matchup because you can go get a Felling whenever you need it to kill a Humperdinck we've been talking about. Unforgetting Unforgiving with the Mangles, so trying to turn one, if at all possible, crumble their thing, and then you know, turn on your Unforgettings to be able to get your Mangles, to be able to do the thing, right? So, yeah, extra Rousey, and she's playing the extra blue here. I thought about playing the Arctic Incarceration, but like, a lot of times I don't want to be doing that. I want to be clearing an ally. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have this card majority of the time. So just the extra Blizzard here. Could be an extra Sigil, but having the extra blue base is never a bad thing when you're playing cards like Rouse. So need to test this one a little bit more. This is kind of a new list with the news of new being gone, right? So that's just kind of where I've landed, and the ratios look good to me. This is the only one where it's not strictly 33 or higher to like the 35 range. So the Grinders matchup, right? No affiliation with the website or dating app or whatever. This one is, you know, your Sledge plan where you're playing Tunic, you know it's going to go long. This is like mirrors and your potentially your like Florians and things like that. Maybe not specifically Florian for the sigils and whatnot, but you kind of get the idea. You can take these out against Florian, but anything where it's like super grindy, like into warriors is another one. So kind of these usually a little bit slower games. This is kind of where I want to be. So playing these 67, playing good value ice quakes, all the D reacts, trying to get your Okins and your Mangles out, and getting the value out of the plume eventually as well. And that's where Rouse kind of comes in as well. You're not being aggressive per se, but when it lines up, you're able to rouse into Sledge, and that's always crazy. So I've been thinking about Righteous Cleansing when you were playing Gravy. Righteous Cleansing into Gravy, just so you can like banish their allies off the top of their deck. Your thought process. Righteous Cleansing is really expensive. It's very difficult to play. And a lot of times you're going to want to like send your attack at killing their allies. So you're going to have a hard time doing that. I would really consider not doing that in specifically Jarl. You're going to try it out. Always try things out. Don't take advice from me like it's the holy word or anything like that. But yeah, definitely try it out, but I don't think it's great. But I haven't tried it recently, so. Where are we at? Okay, grinders. Yeah, you're just playing efficiency, just like the Guardian Way. You know, just trying to sledge off of your Tunic and get the most value out of every turn. So I'll skip Kano for now. We'll go to Mario. So the Mario matchup, I like the Bart skin for this as well because I'm not playing the hat, so being able to stop. Holy word of Ed, that's right. So I like being able to stop the disruption because we don't have a Crown of Providence, right? So just having all this extra armor is going to be good for that. And because they are more of an aggro deck nowadays, like they can play some mid-range, they do play a good amount of defense reactions, but a lot of times they're not going to bring a lot of those defense reactions, if at all, into Jarl, except for maybe like a trap, right? So at least in my testing as Mario, I was only bringing in one trap, and it was the only one that triggered off of like anything that happened. So it wasn't what was it? Den of the Spider, I think. No. Whichever one that the attack is a higher power, they get marked. I can't remember the exact word. I think it's Den of the Spider. Because the Spider is the one we go again. So I'd only bring that one in as Mario into Jarl, so I would imagine that people are probably playing similarly. So they're going to be more aggressive is ultimately the point I'm making. And for them to be more aggressive, I want to have all of these defense reactions. These are some of the main reasons you are playing all of these, to be able to get around that. Your channels, your blizzards, and then Arctic Incarceration was a big... the big reason I'm playing this was for like the Mario matchup as well. Like that was a big consideration. The rest of the stuff is, it basically looks like Syndra, right? Like I'm playing against Syndra. Just taking all that stuff out. Let's see, man, I was hit by Gravy Hype Train, but I love Jarls so much too. Mixed feelings about learning a new and complex hero. I'm just playing the one that I'm already decent at. Yeah, I think you should try it. I think you should try Gravy because Gravy is really cool. It's really fun. He'll be around for a little while with the new LL changes, and I think he's really good. So obviously he's doing very well in national tournament. You give it a try. You got the disposable income to be able to get all these. And if you're not going to do it, then you really need to figure out what the game plan is into them. We'll be working together. The time goes on. So, sorry, I made a spill, so I'm trying to clean that up a little bit. All right, so yeah, the Mario matchup looks pretty much exactly like the Syndra matchup when it comes forward, but you play it a little bit differently. So you just got to be aware of their attacks. You got to count the Tarantula Toxins, and when they get the Master Sword, we've been calling it the like the Legend of Zelda deck, right? I know that's probably fucking stupid, but the whole thing is like it's your quest to get your Telicera, so you got to get the Master Sword, and once you get the Master Sword, you can defeat evil and do all that shit and whatever. But it's because the stealth dagger is obviously busted, right? So like all of the agents work with that besides Trapdoor, and you can pump it with literally everything. It's just crazy. So all right, moving on. Kano. So this is where I was talking about. We're playing the AB4, playing defensively, trying to play around what they're doing here. You know, the extra sigils do definitely help a little bit, but you know, activate your Heart of Ice, see what they do, then play something. Arch Incarceration's kind of weird, I know, but there's not really anything else I want to play. Like all of these defense reactions kind of suck. Could play Shell, I guess, but I think Arctic is likely a little bit better because it's a one card play that allows you to not exhaust your like only blue in hand, and it forces them to do something, right? So it's not terrible, but I need to try the Kane matchup out, but based on what Metal was saying, I think it does make sense, and I think it is somewhat winnable. You might need some arcane compliances or something like that, but we'll try it like this first, and then if it's like hard, we'll try it a different way. And if it's still hard, then we're just going to avoid specifically Kano entirely. But Acilio and Verdance are definitely winnable. So with Acilio, well, let me go back to Kano. So the big thing is if you can blow up like their Storm Striders or something, like obviously that helps. But against Acilio, this is what I was talking about, where you get to play the Gauntlet in AB3 plus the Stalagmite. So you just get blocking armor in addition to AB3, which is really strong. And then you play it like it's an aggressive matchup, right? It's your kind of standard thing. And you just try to mitigate their combo turn. If they're at a position where they are trying to combo, you have your Stalagmite. You also have your Blizzards to be able to counteract that. And then the moment that they go for the combo, they expose themselves equipment-wise, right? Which makes the game a lot easier for you. Then lastly was Verdance. So against Verdance is AB3 plus Tunic, playing value game, and then sending Disruption to kind of counteract their pitch deck combo when it gets to that stage. And then trying to keep your life total healthy enough, not doing a whole bunch of random trades. But I am playing Rouse, but not playing Blizzard, because I want to be able to, you know, play their mid-range game, because they're not going to be super aggressive. So this is the result of my thinking after the new LL situation, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been super strong. Like I've been very impressed, especially this card. Like you line this up with the sigil, it's kind of crazy. This deck can grind. And anything that's susceptible to the ice, if they're really resource hungry, this deck is going to eat up as well. So what's next? Everybody knows what's next is the Guardian Mastery pack, right? So I'm going to continue to play. I'm probably going to keep playing Verdance just to get kind of proficient with that. Obviously we'll have the Jarl in the back pocket and the Florian in the back pocket, but I've been doing a little bit of theory crafting with the cards that we know about with Valda. So the big thing you'll notice is a lot of people are going to be playing cards like Earthlord Bounty. Now, I think this card is good. I think this equipment is good. Whenever you draw a card from an effective action card, you get Silent Surge token for each card drawn this way. Well, they banned like Tome of Findle, which was a big way to do it, because you get to play Mage Master Boots, Tome of Findle, and then you get a whole bunch of extra stuff. You can play Sift, and you can play, you know, whatever else. A Potion of Luck, that was the Blitz deck. They just played a bunch of crap like that. But you're not really doing the Guardian thing that you usually would. Like, you can't mid-range as well. You have to be, like, more aggressive because your deck blocks like shit. at that point. So the way I approached it is I'm not playing a bunch of actions that actually draw me cards. So that's why this is in the maybe board. I am playing tech plating because this does work pretty well with cards like the Heave 2 cards, right? Because you can activate your tech plating, then you attack with your Anathos, and then you have 2 floating. It could be pummel, could not be pummel. But hey, if it's not pummel, then it's going to be a Heave for 2, and then it's going to be a 2-card 10 next turn. And this is honestly probably the best one out of the 3 that are available, because it makes it to where all the cards and heroes, or just cards in general, all the cards they own lose abilities on their next turn. So it's between this one and the other one that says like blow up all the ores. But this one just has more relevant text, because sure, you're not stopping them from discounting their stuff, right? But you're making it to where whatever they send at you, you don't necessarily have to care, right? So yeah, that's kind of the idea here. So I'm playing Tunic. Balance of Justice. So one interesting thing that I was thinking about is, okay, so if you hit with the new spec says they have to Wheel of Fortune, right? They have to get rid of their card hand, discard their hand, and they draw that many cards. So if they do that with at least 2 cards, they get to get an extra draw. Now it is a random draw, you know, that's notoriously not the best for Guardian, but I think it's reasonable enough, and this has utility in other matchups that would theoretically be pretty hard. So one thing I'm going to have to learn too is playing in paper. I'm going to have to really check when people are drawing cards, because people do it a lot. Especially like Acelios and Rangers with 3 Oaks and whatnot. You're just going to get free cards everywhere, or free surges and free hero activations. But yeah, Civic Steps, my big hope for the new set when it comes to the equipment suite is it'd be really cool to get a new hat, right? Like a good Guardian hat, because every other class has a broken hat except Guardian. There's probably some other classes that don't have crazy amazing hats, but like, you know, we can go down the list of you got like Face Purgatory, the card's broken. You've got Scowling Fleshback, that card's broken. You have Mask of Deceit in Mario, that card's broken. You have hold on, give me a minute. I'll find something else. I don't know, help me out, chat. I'm sure there's some other good hats that I'm not thinking of. But like, basically meta-relevant classes have really good hats. Balda had a broken hat. Civic Peak. Civic Peak. What the fuck is that? Hold on. What are you talking about? Civic Peak? That's not a card. Oh, it is a card. Oh, when this defends, another target hero draws a card. I don't think that's broken. I think that's actively bad. Yeah, I know. I can search up head equipment. I know. I want to now. Convinced me. What is it? It's head. Ooh, Arcanite Skullcap. Ooh, what a banger. Not really, but Coronet Peak is good, but that's ice. It's not like class specific as talent. Kind of Seeds obviously broken. Face Purgatory. Good Time Chapeau is okay and Betsy, but Betsy is Betsy. This card looks awesome. It's not very good, but like it looks awesome. Kabuto. Yeah, that's another one that's really strong. Actually. Like, unironically, very good. A Mask of Recurring Nightmares. How could I forget? That card is fucking broken. New Horizons. Broken. Skullcap. Mask of Momentum. Well, I missed so many that are just like bananas. Mask of the Pouncing Lynx. Fantastic card. Cross Wrap. Fantastic. There's a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff, and One thing you're gonna notice is none of it is Guardian. This one gives a Frostbite, like whatever. Defends with an ice card. It has to be an ice card. It's crazy. Yeah, Halo of Illumination is also broken. So, yeah, Traverse the Universe. I missed this one. This one's broken. All right, so basically, I want a Guardian hat. That is my wish for the new set. Give me a Guardian hat to match all the other crazy heroes, and I'll feel good. It would be nice to have boots too, but we got flexors, civic steps, while can be Helios Miter. You got me. You got me. Bro can make a surge and give your opponent a brick. You're crazy. I mean, it's clearly the generic class. Yeah, you can see the whole equipment suite. Now, we got like broken ass shields though. Like, let's be real. The shields are insane. Insane. You got Stalagmite, Rampart's good. This card is just nutso bananas in Valda. It's like actually insane. There have been many times where I blocked with this card for 5. It is just nuts. It's just nuts. A lot of times, I'll block for 1, and then I'll play Dark Ritual. That's what I've been calling it. 0 cost Dark Ritual. And then I'll block for 2, which is crazy. Could you pitch a cool design for a head Guardian equipment? Man. Boy, could I. Let me think. Obviously, it would have to be like Blade Break 2, probably. It's the easiest. Or, hey, Guardwell. Goodbye, some Guardwell. Man, I really don't know. It would have to be something synergistic where each Guardian could probably... Hell, if they made it like a AB hat, like a dyadic Karas, it'd be... Block, generate 2 seismics. I'd be fine with that. Let's traverse the seismic verse. Block with it, go get seismic eruption from your deck. I'm in. Sign me up. That would be insane. Insane. Man, I really don't know. I don't know what it could be. I just want something that's like good in any matchup other than Wizard. That when you block with it, it does something powerful. Right? Just don't know what that would be. I think it'd have to... Man. Maybe block with it if you control a seismic surge. Do create a quicken token or some shit. I don't know. Battle 1 at the start of your turn. If you have 3 more seismics, or remove it. If that existed? Okay. Alright. I'm in on that one. That sounds fucking awesome. Block 1. Play seismic eruption. Remove it. Block 1 again. I mean, it's not as insane as like a Valiant Dynamo or anything like that, but hey, it'd be really good. I like the block generate 2 seismics. I think that's good too. It kind of like pushes you into playing tech plating more, which I do love me some tech plating. All right, we talked about this and all my wishes. The other wish that I want, obviously red boulder drop, and I would really, really like a go again style of attack. I don't know how they would create it, because I was like, oh, if it's a crush effect that like you can hit an ally, or okay, hold on. If we had an attack that was like a, say like a 3 for 7, I said on rush or crush effect, gain go again. This also applies to allies. I'd be thrilled, absolutely thrilled, because that would allow me to, you know, deal with all, have some extra go again, have a 3 for 7 3-block Guardian card that like has utility in other matchups if you need to play it, just as a, you know, Raging Onslaught, right? That's what the card is. How about a Temper 2 headpiece that says when you block, you may surge, you control and remove minus one? Bro, that'd be broken as shit too. That's better than Legacies, man. That's even better. Gavin, if that existed, I'd shit a brick. If they printed that, it'd be insane. Do something like if it has Dominate. This has Dominate, gain an action point, but costs like 7. What? If this has Dominate, gain an action point, but costs like 7. Are you talking like a weapon? I don't know. Oh, that's another thing I want. I want a weapon. I want something other than Titan's Fist. Fist is alright. Like, if we don't get something, I'm not upset playing Titan's Fist. But it'd be nice to have like just a baseline 4 that doesn't have some negative impact. Right? I would like a not winners well broken level, but something that like consistent that has a relevant text to it of some sort. Be really nice. Like on hit, make a surge. That'd be kind of crazy, right? Broken. Never mind. They'll never do that. It had to be like a 4 cost. 4 cost 4 on hit, make a surge. Be alright. Might be alright. Red Flying Hive may do something crazy on Bald Man, Big Attack, go again. Not those. I'm in. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. That doesn't sound too bad. I think what they're going to do, though, is they're going to push Guardian to be a more Arsenal-centric class. And the reason I say that is because, like, Premeditate is in the set. And I feel like I've heard that somewhere. Maybe it's just the hive mind influencing my brainwaves. But, yeah. An attack that has the Dominate text, but 7+ to make it fair. Oh, sure. So you're talking about like my go again effect thing? Yeah, no. Can't do that. It has to be a 1-card play. Or like a 1-pitch play for it to be relevant. But a Guardian card that has go again, but when... Well, no. It would be relevant with surges, actually. I take that back. Would be relevant with surges. How about a Guardian card that has go again, but when it crushes, it loses go again? Oh, why the cost or attack? That sounds gas as well. It just inherently has go again. And if it hits, this loses go again. Bro, that's kind of genius too. I like that. Man, Gavin's come up with some insane ideas. Gosh. I can't wait to see like what actually comes out. There's some cool stuff like that. So cool. There's lots of things to think about. I would love to play Valda. Love to play Valda in Kansas City. Love to play it. But right now she's like gets just dick stomped by like Verdance and all that. Let's give me Red Boulder Drive. That's what we've been saying, man. He cares about the Arsenal. There's also the new Bravo cares about the Arsenal, so like the Guardian cares about Arsenal. Yeah. That you're right. So I have heard that the new Bravo, the young one that cares about the Arsenal that you're talking about, there is going to be an adult version playable in CC. I don't know how real that is, but I can't remember who told me, but I trust them. I really hope. A big hope. Verdance is so gross. I might be off Jarl for a bit. You've been testing against Verdance and she beat me up. It's part of it. Part of it. Just play potion combos. It's so annoying. What's even more annoying about it though is they can do the potion combo. You can play things like Smashing Good Time, blow up their potions, and then they just get them back with that purple. They just get them back. Yeah, they weren't close yet. Yeah, for sure. Smash Palace Bravo in CC before Blaze in CC. That I've heard that somebody at LSS, it might have been James White or whoever, I don't know, but they said that they confirmed that Bravo will have a CC playable hero card. Like it'll be the same card, but obviously with 40 health. So when that comes, I'm gonna be excited because I love to Arsenal Crippling Crush, and I love the idea of saying here's 2/3 of the Starvo activation. Oh yeah, like it. Ninja time. You gonna play some ninja? Oh boy, just turn to the die. Play Verdance. I don't know what ninja you would play, because even Syndra, like Syndra has a favored matchup in Verdance. I mean, I've been beating some Syndras on Verdance, man. Beating them up. We're getting way off topic. I'm excited about Valdo. We're going to talk more about Valdo. So this is the idea. I had a lot of iterations where I went back and forth. So I have a bunch of freaking maybe cards that's going back and forth. Some of these cards are like pretty bad, right? Like I don't think this card is actually actively that good until we get a bunch of tapping heroes. So this will be good later in the life of the game. I was on like multiple pulverize instead of just the one. I was testing out Righteous Cleansing. I think this card is good in Valda because it's actually semi-playable with a bunch of surges, right? I have never put this in the deck, but it's in the maybe board just in case. The attacks here, I was playing some number of Debilitate, going back and forth. Could be some number of Crush the Weak. Not super big on that one. It's because it's so easy to stop. Rouse the Ancients, Promising Terrain, Grandeur, obviously, Tech Rift, Roiling Fissure. There's a lot of good options here. I'm playing Guardian, but I kind of want more Heave cards. Also, they should have Crush. They do have Crush. These have Crush, but I hope they're not Guardians. I hope there's like a Majestic Heave 2 with a Crush effect that's like semi-decent that you can play into everything. Because Heave 2 Crush is really, really strong with tech. Alright, so I went through a lot of iterations, like I said. I ultimately landed on, if you're playing Command & Conquer, you're playing Pummel. Obviously, you got to play the Spec. Spec's broken. This card, broken. Playing general decent attacks, right? Decent blue attacks that do things. Big numbers and Heave is still good. Make 3 surges. Not upset about doing that. So, not playing Buckling Blow. And playing Imposing because this, you might as well, this is a spec for her too. Being able to search turn 1 to make Seismic Surge tokens is really good. And then I have some Tech Rift in here. I've been testing this. I didn't think I'd like it, but I actually like it. It's actually pretty good. It having Go Again is like kind of crazy. And it looks like Expedition 33. I love that game. The game's so good. But yeah, so Terra Sunder, Solid Ground. I love this card. I saw this card. This is the most excited out of all the cards. Like, this was the card I was most excited for. Because I have always been a big fan of playing like traditional Bravo. And in traditional Bravo, you played Unmovable Blue. And Unmovable Blue is a 3-for-5 victory action, right? And it has, if it's played from Arsenal, you get +1. This is just Unmovable, but with better text. It says, I'm free if you play a Seismic Eruption, which is so crazy. So crazy. Then, okay. Get to know. What would be the point if it was a generic? What would be the point of Guardian of it? Hold on. I'm confused about what you... Yeah, you'll have to clarify what. Ed, beware of putting Levi in her place. She may have cards she actually wants to discard. May not disrupt as much as you hope. That's true. That's true. Putting Levi in their place. A lot of situations, though, the only time that it would be like kind of bad is if they discarded like a beast within and got an extra free card. It'd be kind of crazy, but honestly, I'm not super worried about that. I don't think I would like play this on like turn 2 when they haven't filled the graveyard up a whole lot. Like probably Arsenal and wait for a little bit, just based on the context of the game. That's just like one random example, but I'm not super worried about it. But yeah, I was super excited about this card. I think this card is like super strong, super good. Works with Anathos, works with Titan Swiss, and then I slept on this card. I'm gonna be honest. And the more I played with this and it working with Balda, and it's Dark Ritual but free, or Black Lotus but instant speed. Like, insert any broken magic card equivalent. Like, obviously this card is bananas. It's so good. So good. And it's yellow. It plays Command and Conquer. Bro, come on. We've learned if it's majestic and yellow, it's probably a good card because most of the mythic yellows are banned. Like Art of War and Cash In. So I gotta make a video like Josh made with custom card ideas. I can do that. I can do that. You guys are giving me good ideas anyway. I think Ed meant a crush effect that affects all heroes generally, not a generic class that has. Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, see. So I want a Eve 2 Guardian crush effect that works on anything, not just Guardian, right? And I want it to be a relevant, generically good crush effect, right? That's what I meant by that. But yeah, Seismic Eruption. Oh, all of these like Seismic Surge Marvels are super cool too. I gotta get me an Aria one. So here's the inventory that I've been kind of playing around with. So 2 Rousey Ancients. I'm not playing as many of these attacks as like I'm probably used to. I probably could play 3, but I like the idea of having to hear 1 staunch response because like if Guardian's good, you're gonna want a staunch response. Spinal Crush, Choke Slam, Disable. These are all the best crush effects that you could possibly have in the game. And then the Heat 2 for your grind matchups when you're wanting to play. Tech Plating was the idea there. AB3 probably maybe relevant, maybe not. I don't know. Like, I think this will have a hard time against camps just like anything else. And then Sink Below just being able to fix your hand, right? That's the general problem with Guardian decks. You just get some real works every once in a while. So, oh, and Crash and Bash. Forgot about that card. So, you may reveal a Crush card from your hand. If you do, you get a Seismic Surge. So, this one's been hit or miss, honestly. Hit or miss. This is one that I would really consider cutting. I would play maybe some other block style card or some free block like this could debilitate, and I'd be pretty cool with it. You gotta find a way to make Season Savior work. I will never make a way to make that card work. That card sucks. That card is so bad. If they print a card that's like X, remove X counters from target shield, like obviously you're just gonna play Tuscan at that point, right? Like it's just better. Invaldo. In other things, maybe. I don't know. Because it's temper, right? Just look. Season Savior. Oh. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Whoops. Battle Worn. The 2 minus counters on that. Okay. Yeah, this card's like not bad. It's just there's not a way to remove the counters to get like immediate value off of it. If you could do that, then yeah, it'd be pretty good. But you just can't, right? There's not a go again way to do it. If there was a go again, like remove counters from shield, it'd be kind of great. There's some cards that also give buffs to your shield as well. I looked at those. They like actively hurt guard well, like it counteracts the text, so we don't mess with it. So yeah, against aggro, the idea was to have your choke slams to stop the buffs, have your disables to have more command and conquer effects, have some extra 4 blocks here. Spinal Crush is obviously a house, and then this card is obviously a house. This can chain into itself. If you have one in Arsenal, or you have like a Seismic Eruptions, one of your best Arsenal targets, being able to play like a put them in their place, and especially against aggro decks, like, and this is coming in dominated, they're gonna have a really hard time covering this up because they don't generally have really good armor that blocks, unless they're ninja, right? Ninja has decent block, unless you're Cinder. Cinder has terrible block, but you know, that's beside. We would need a D react that also removes -1 for shield. I'm in. Give me like, you know, I don't know, it'd be 3 for 6. Shield blocks more, remove a counter from it. There already exists a card like that, right? Target shield gets +6. Yeah. But imagine winning a game as you played Shield Bash. Hold on. Shield Bash is like the Steel Hand or Steel Blade Shunt, right? Is it called Shield Bash? Gold. Yeah, this is the one. Target shield gets +4. This is defense reaction 7, and then you can block with the shield for +4. That's kind of crazy. Shield Bash. With 1 or more defense is defending this chain link. Deal 1 damage to the attacking hero unless they discard a card. Okay. Alright. I like 3 for 6 defense reactions. Not into that. Yeah. This card is not that great, but this one not bad. This one's not bad. I looked at these boots too, now that we're looking at it. I don't think these are amazing as well. They're okay. There's a world where this this could be better than Civic Steps, but no-rim boots are your best in slot, like AB1, right? Because everything else is like exactly where you want to be. I guess the hat, but if we get a good hat, we don't want to. Could be a 1 for 4 if you take damage. This chain link -1 counter. Dude, I'm in on that too. That sounds sick. Everybody with all these good ideas. Shields. Tales of Adventure. Get you a spectral shield. All right. Yep, that's all our shield stuff here. 1, 2, 3. These are the only shield cards. Shield bait, or sorry, 1, 2. Yeah, so yeah, this was the kind of idea, playing Tectonic Rift. Don't really want the rouse into the aggro. I want to be able to have good turn 1 plays. Not playing Pulverize into aggro, into Gritty. I wanted rouse, I wanted Zealous Belting, and I wanted E-Strike. So 8 Gilligan sources is pretty strong. Being able to Seismic Eruption to be able to go like E-Strike into put in place, or Spinal Crush. Any of these things that you could possibly think of. No D-reacts. Don't really want those. Not super strong. So Civic Peak is where it's at. No, I'm not doing that. You Civic Peak a ninja and you just like take 1 billion damage. But the attack doesn't have to go again. I mean, yeah, if it doesn't have to go again, it's like then you get them an arsenal, or maybe they were gonna arsenal card anyway, and they're just okay, whatever. I see what you're saying. It's just like it's not that good. Watch me be wrong. Watch that be like the best hat. So funny. Shield Bash only gets full value if your opponent is attacking with a tall attack. No, you can split, right? You can split it. So if you control offense shield, this shield wall has +0. This gets +0. This is a 11. Oh, my bad. I thought this gave the shield +4. Gosh, I can't read. Curse of a bad player. Civic Peak is beyond game losing. Yeah. But what if it becomes good? What if it becomes insane? It'd be so good. Oh, that card sucks. The fact that Sit-Ups is our best card in our boot slot is so sad. Engineer Guardian. But yeah, what are we doing? Kasai. Okay, Kasai. I want blocking cards, and I want to be a efficient with Anathos and tech plating, and I just want to bop them, right? Tech plating with Spinal Crush, obviously super strong. He's played a bunch of blues. Seismic Surge, obviously also super strong. And Zealous Beltane to be able to kill their allies with E-Strike. The Ancients, not playing any of these cards. Pulverize actively sucks into them. Chokeslam, also not great. Good stats, not great. Then Disable. Disable's okay. Could be better than Crash and Bash, but I like play so many attacks here that like I think having the extra block on like a critical turn when they're trying to make a bunch of chopper or whatever, like it might be important. Shield Bash Ed. Shield Bash. I know we were talking about Shield Bash. Shield Bash only gets full value if your opponent is attacking with a tall attack. Okay, hold on. No, this is the one that gets the value of the attacking with the tall one, Shield Wall. This one says Disruption, which is also cool. Have you noticed? Look at that. Hold on. See this monster looking thing? Is that one of these guys? Bro, it is. How cool. Look at that. Ah, lore. Neat. It's gas. Curious if we get a better weapon. We play Talk a Big Game. Hold on. Talk a big. Choose a number. Next time you deal that much damage to a hero this turn, create that many. Dominate? Dominate? Plus this card. Could be pretty cool. I don't know if it's that good though. It would like replace Tech Rift, I guess. Alright, Mario. Against Mario. Cutting that crap. Playing defense reactions. Not bad. Mid-range, I like to play Pulverize. Heat 3, super good. There's been multiple games with Tunic where like I'll have Tunic up and I'll go Size Disruption and then play Pulverize off of like 2 cards and it from Arsenal, right? Pretty strong. Pretty strong. So playing a little bit more into them too. So I'm playing the Rouses in addition. Because this is a 32 blue deck. Believe it or not. 32 blue. And then in the mirror, hey, this is where this card's gonna shine, right? 6 for 10. Do good thing. Tech plating off of this. Value. Value. Lots of value. So no Spinal Crush. No. Spinal Crush bad. Unless you're playing against Victor, it might be okay. But you spent too long on this. Sorry to dwell. No, you're good. Okay. Bash says this chain link. Put your shield and dash. Same link to trigger the disruptive effect. Do you? Oh, is defending this chain. Okay. We're gonna read this one more time. Completely. If a guardian offhand with 1 or more defense is defending this chain link, deal 1 damage to the attacking hero unless they discard a card. Okay. You defend this and your shield. So you're blocking at least 7. And then you deal 1 damage or they discard a card. Obviously not playable right now with the knowledge that we have. Wizard, Tunic, Norun, Anathos. Play all the go against stuff. Value off the Anathos. Still explode from Wizard. Still explode. Oh, Kano. Beat you up. There is an off chance that you can you know, maybe out disrupt. Well, no, not even. There's really not a lot of disruption with this specific hero. We need to look at Bravo again. We need Bravo to be good. If Bravo could be good, I want to build a Bravo deck. We're about to pivot. We're about to pivot. Y'all got me all kinds of thinking. Let's see. We'll call it Seismic Bravo. Sure, I'll leave my Catholic on. Is there a world where we can play a Russian and Bravo? Is that stupid? This card is really good. There's no like benefit, but like, let's say we specialization. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Boom. So you play this. You have this in Arsenal. This costs 4. 2-card crippling. I mean, that's probably good enough, right? This is good into decks like Verdance. This could be the move. Could be the move. Maybe I'm crazy, but I like it. I feel like I get a big tunic deck, unfortunately, nowadays. The pummels. What if we just play Bravo with this? Hold on. What was the name of the other card? React. No, that's not a card. Gotta play imposing so you can get your show times. Solid ground. God, I love this card. This card is so cool. Surface shaking, mid. Terrace under, absolutely. Sign me up. Thunderquake? Yeah, why not? Card's good. Macho Grande. Card's kind of mid, right? How am I feeling about Runaways King? What the heck is that? Runaways King. I'm not following what you're talking. Gotta have Disable. Gotta have Rouse. Guardian deck. We think about this. Get back to it. Then maybe board. Probably still the best. Yeah, probably still the best. Fist? Testament? Testament's pretty bad, right? Maybe. Is test better than still? No. Probably not. Wait, no, I need my tech plating. Setting inventory. What if we did something like this? I feel like this could be good. Has some choke slams and all that kind of stuff. How are we feeling about the Runaways? Like the team? Or like equipment? I'm not following the question. Runaways. The next 1 damage to be dealt to you after this, you've been dealt this turn. This card sucks. Can you explain how you approach building a Guardian deck as you're making this one? Yeah, sure. So I'm looking at this is the card that I'm kind of like theory crafting, building around, right? Kind of the idea. So the big thing is when you look at your cost of your cards, the cards that you're going to be including that you know are going to be in there, you need to have a blue base that supplements that. So to do that, you can basically consider this card a blue in a way. So we can effectively say we have 33 blues. Now, there is a world where I might want to go up even a little bit more, up to like 33. But I think 33 would probably be the cap for a deck like this. So The last one would be Buckling Blow. This is the one that has been seeing a lot of cuts lately. The other thing, so we have Hummel, Command and Conquer, like your generally good things here, and your E-strikes that you would have in your board. This belting, especially if you're playing Anathos, right, which the intent would to play Anathos in nearly everything. I definitely want this card in the board. So if you're playing Command and Conquer Pummel, it just makes sense to really go with Tunic, right? When you're trying to make these play lines, it's also good with your 4-cost attacks. So those attacks, one that really stands out to me here is going to be Chokeslam. That's generally a sideboard card. So what I'll generally do when I'm trying to construct a deck is I'll get the best equipment out of the way for what what I usually want. So Crown of Providence is usually the best in slot. Tunic, because of the way the deck is structured here. Best boots, the best gloves, and then the ideal weapon, right? So that can be this, and then Steel Braid Buckler, because we are playing Tunic, so if we're trying to play that Tunic game plan, then we don't really care about attacking with this as often, right? So the next thing that I do, hear me out, pummel the Zealous instead. Yes, you can pummel the Zealous for sure. I've done that many times. The next thing is, I'll make a matchup up. So let's say I'm playing against Syndra. That's like basically the premier aggro deck right now. What are the things that I want against Syndra? Okay. So against them, I may or may not want like something like Seismic Eruption. I do want defense reactions, so that's one thing that I'm missing currently, right? So we want some Sink Below to be able to fix our hands. We'll put that there. Maybe some Crush the Weak, right? So if we're worried about specifically Syndra, we could have that in the deck. Say it's like super popular. Shelter, big fan of having a little bit extra against decks like Assassin and whatnot. So we're already at 71 here. You got to have your AB. You always slot this in to your inventory, and then I like to put these in maybe in the mess around with the number. Yeah, so when it comes to the deck building, so you're saying is very interesting to start thinking about the matchups, because I like to structure like a 60 that I'm building around, right? So it might be better to show you, because this could take a little bit of time for me to go back and forth and iterate. But here, for this Jarl deck, right? So I knew I wanted CNCs, Fellings, Plows, Open Olds, Autumn's Touch, all the works that you typically would have here. And you get this ratio of blues. I know the number of blues that I want to be able to consistently play the cards that I have. Then I'll look at like my Syndra matchup, for instance. So I know against Syndra, depending on the equipment that I'm using, I want certain types of cards. So I'm not playing Pummel in this specific list because I'm playing Barton, and Pummel requires you to take a whole bunch of extra damage. Doesn't make sense when you're playing Tunic in a list like this. So we keep the consistency of having 33, be able to consistently play our cards. And then I look at the ratios here. Okay, I have a bunch of these blocks here, and then I'll usually have like one slot left, and then I'll slot in my Arctic Incarceration or whatever, and then I'll have an empty board. Then I'll look at another matchup, and that is completely like opposing. So it would be like, I've looked at an matchup, I want to look at a matchup where I need to be the aggressor. And a deck where I would need to be the aggressor would be something like Gravy, right? So here, this is where I would want Icequakes, the extra go again cards and whatnot, and like some rouses and things like that. And that's where I would take out my defense reactions and my anti-aggro cards, right? So that's kind of like, it's almost like a switchboard. Another good example would probably be like my OG Bravo deck, where I have it. So this is this is probably the easiest to look at when you're deck building here. So you have your general 51, you're into aggro. Why do I only have this? Yeah, that's correct. So here, I'm looking at aggro. Okay, I want all of these cards. I want the extra pummels to be able to have on-hit disruption. Works well with Spinal whenever you're doing a tech play. So I'm seeing the synergies of like a Surge Generator off of CNC, I Arsenal Pummel, and then I draw Spinal. I do that. Or I keep a full hand where I want to Command and Conquer. I have the extra defense reactions here, so on and so forth. Then I look at something like Kano, right? Where I have the Tunic and I'm playing these extra cards here, some tech here. I'm not playing these defense reactions. I'm not playing my extra pulverizes or anything like that because this isn't a matchup where I want to exhaust my hand. And I'm not playing the long game things, right? So this was before Florian lost the cards, so this is kind of an older list. So then I had another focus on Florian. I was like, okay, I want to go ahead and have Mecha Reality is pretty good into like Fangs as well, if you can pull this off with a pummel. So basically I'm looking at basically the top decks I expect to play against, and I'm building around that, but I'm picking cards that have utility in other matchups too, right? So best example would be like in this list that we were just messing around with and building is the Crush the Weak, right? Let me get Spinals in here because obviously we need Spinal. So Crush the Weak is a card really good in the center, right? Really good because it stops all their head jabs. You know, they have some 0-for-4s here and there. It doesn't stop their daggers, but you know, you can stop them from having some crazy turns. Same thing Katsu, where you can stop like their retraces and things like that. But this is very like tailored into ninjas and specifically like Slippies and Marios. Whereas like a Choke Slam has good stats. You can play it into Mirror, you can play it into Azalea, you can play it into you know, the Marios and Slippies and all that stuff. And it's not as good into Syndra, but it still can be, right? Because they have some reaction pumps and things like Ancestral Empowerment and whatever the blue one is that basically lunge and press. So it has utility there too, but it's not as like tailored for this. If I expected a ton of ninja, then I would be playing this in the sideboard, just as an example, right? So here, just to finish off, like, yes, this is a good card, but I would cut this and then play the Choke Slam, and this is kind of where I would land for my 60 into them. This is where I would want to kind of base everything, and I'm effectively, again, playing 36 blues. If you think about the Seismic Eruption being a blue itself, because when you play it, or when you draw it, you can immediately play it if you need to effectively use that as a blue, unless you have a Command and Conquer, but guess what? It plays Command and Conquer by itself anyway. So, pretty good card. So then we go to another good example would be like Pistol Dash. So Dash IE, where I want to be stupid, crazy, aggressive, right? So we can keep the Tunic. Let's say we're not playing the tech plating. And I want Zealous Belting. I don't want this. I don't want this. I'm okay keeping this defense reaction because it supplements with my my Anathos, right? The good thing about not needing tech plating in this deck is because of the Bravo ability can help you turn on your Anathos without having the need for a mana resource or like a resource sink that the other hero need, right? You can just activate this and then attack with your weapon. Sure, it doesn't get go again, but it still does the thing that you need it to. So against Pistol Dash, I definitely want like Pulverize and things like that. And that's one reason to play Bravo, is if you really want to play some Pulverizes out, this is the deck to do it. Because you can get it off of Showtime, keep your Pulverized, do some crazy things. So here I want this. And then the last bit would probably be, you know, some extra tech cards that allow me to be a little more aggressive. So like if I wanted to go even farther in the go, then I would go with like Out Muscle, because that's like the next next best thing here, right? And then I can even go one more pulverize if I want to get cheeky with it. So this is what like my dash IE would look like here. So does that make sense because Guardian is usually a more responsive class? Absolutely. Just now thinking about it, and I bet playing Seismic Eruption feels awesome to play from Arsenal. Yeah, it's nuts from Arsenal. It's like, think about when you play Sigil. If you used to play like old Guardian style, and you had Sigil in your board, and or you just played it like main board, like I did back in like Monarch era playing Bravo. You Arsenal your Sigil, they do something to you. Or you need a new Arsenal slot, you just play this out. It's instant speed. Like, you can bait out some CNCs. It's just nuts. You're delaying your blue. So good. Seismic Eruption looking good. I haven't tried it in Bravo. I really want to now. I think this card is just like kind of crazy. So yeah, so here again, we were talking about the Crush of the Week. So maybe I don't want this, right? Because it's a little too like focused for what I want in a wider meta. It might be good as like a 2 of in the board just to have some extra utility here. Again, these are sideboard cards, so these are cards that aren't going to be in every single matchup. You could always keep one pulverized, depends on your play order and whatnot, but these are the cards that I generally would be like, okay, I'm going to play these into everything, right? Tome of Imperial Flame was good. Flesh bag. Where's the flesh bag? Tome of Imperial Flame was so good. It was blue you could pitch from Arsenal that made 2-ash. Yeah, for sure. Seismic is good in every Guardian, to be honest. Excited to play it in Jarl. Is it as good in Jarl? I don't know. But Seismic seems just like really strong in Bravo because it's you can set it up to make sure that you get a dominate crippling or something like that when they're not expecting it. It's basically like I don't know the blue resource. It just seems really good, right? But yeah, so we're already at 78. This would be the last bit where it's like, okay, do I want to respect Kano more? I would have this here. Do I want to have a little bit more tech here for ninjas or something, so I could play like Crush of the Week, and that's still reasonable into something like Dash IE, right? So we're at 54, so I want here, 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 here. So maybe I don't specifically want that many choke slams into them. You know, just stuff like that. You just gotta play with your numbers a little. Then the last would be like, okay, what does my illusionist matchup look like? What is my ally base? So basically like the different archetypes and how you want to approach those game plans, and then what cards supplement those ideas, right? The Macho Grande, the best card in the game. Macho Grande, no? What do you mean? Is that what James White says? This card is not the best card in the game. Not by a mile. There are many other cards that we could talk about better than this, like Codex of Frailty, right? Cards good. Art of War. Cards pretty good. Awakening. Cards literally restricted in LO. Seen a list that ChatGPT makes from Bravo. I have not. Goofy. If Allin says it's good, Jarl, I'm willing to believe him. Yes, Allin is very probably has more experience on Jarl than me. I would wager to definitely believe that. Bravo got a lot of experience on Bravo. Not recently, but I got it. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's kind of how I structured this stuff. It gets a little bit more complicated with non-generic guardians, obviously, like the Jarl. I went back and forth on this a lot. I wish I could show you the different versions. I wish it like kept tabs on all the times that I've like taken pick cards in and out. But like for example, this is one thing that you would need to think about. Like if you're playing the Ice Build Stalagmite, you really don't want these. You would rather have Winter's Bite, right? Because that allows you to have one card per play. Oh god, I just noticed I wasn't watching the live broadcast. Oh, that makes more sense. You were like back behind and we were talking about the hats. It has me on Bravo. I think Jarl changes play size. I wonder what cards are extremely strong that pushes you to want to do. Like an elemental. I like mulch. Mulch is a good one. So, but yeah, these decks take a little bit longer to mess around with. You could always start out with like what you consider to be the staples. There's also a lot of tools online too that you can find that shows you the percentage rate of cards being played. So I would wager that obviously Oak and Old is going to be a 3 of in every list. Command and Conquer is likely to be a 3 of. Channel is likely to be a 3 of. Crumble, 3 of. Right? Pulse, always playing 1. So on and so forth, right? So you can always start with that basis and then kind of build your deck around that. Because every version of this deck is going to be playing this, 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 and this, right? Being able to play batter off of one card in your arrow feels good. Yes, I would agree with that. It does. I did notice that one when I chose that here. That's the first one that popped up. This might be a hot take. I'm not big on this card. So the crush effect is so specific. It's good into gravy. We all know that. It's very good if you can get the on hit with gravy. It's good into Illusionist, actually, too, because they have a lot of Pearl equipment. But it is not good in things like Wizard, right? Because it has to have no defense value, not 0. One argument I saw online is that, like, oh, you can batter to a pulp their plume. You cannot batter to a pulp their plume. It doesn't work, right? So this card is very niche and very specific, basically to one class, right? One class agent. And it's a 6 for 10. It's got good rate. Like, that's not bad to just throw a 6 for 10. But you don't want to be doing that in a lot of matchups when you can be playing, you know, like your 2-card 11 basically, and then you know, you're sledging with 1 card, right? They need more tower cards. They're super good if you get them off. Yes. We need more auras that have go again, that actually like supplement that strategy. There's a couple, but they're all pretty trash, right? This one doesn't even have go again. If these had go again, these would be pretty good. I need to find that chat GPT list here. Abby, send me the chat GPT list. I want to see it. And we'll go over it. We'll critique the list. We can have a stream later on too, where it's like people sending me their list and me talking about it. You guys want that? Might be decent. All right, where were we? I'm mostly excited about this Bravo deck. My way. Yeah, I'm into this. God, I just love this card so much. This is like one of my favorite cards of all time. This and Pulverize, and this is the deck that plays Pulverize the best. So, really big fan. Really big fan. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't have E-Strike in this deck, right? E-Strike is a better card. Just in general, better, especially with this. Okay, so we're at 81, so this card's good, right? You can play like one Oasis. Want to get cheeky with it? I think it's amazing, but play it against the Wizards. Being able to return to Bravo would be, I know. I want to play him so bad, you have no idea. I love playing this guy. He's so fun to me. A lot of people think it's boring, but whatever. Whatever. Alright, while I'm waiting on the Abby, we're gonna single player this up. Gotta do open see. Alright, let's see. We'll do no dash IE. 8. Don't want that. This. Let's keep one. Sure. Oh boy. Did it. There's a position here where you can it actually be right to like block with something like this, or you can use crowns to get rid of this. It's likely better that way. You can get rid of that. You have this. Oh my god, mistakes were made. So let these happen. You can go choke slam. You have 2 floating. You pummel that thing. Do the good stuff. Doesn't matter order. Arsenal or seismic seems strong. Oh my god, with this too. Ooh, good. They attack. You make surges. You block. Seems insane. We can even tunic, cancel, Bravo, this, Bravo, play spinal, dominated. Don't really like arsenaling that card super often, but sometimes it works. Play this, Arsenal Seismic. This seems great. I think this card is just like really good. Card is really. Oh my gosh. Well, this is not the best situation when you draw too many like this. I mean, I guess you could go here, play one, play choke slam. Right, we found a bad turn. Dominate it. You know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, this is good. So I made a blue, I'm blocking, and then I'm able to dominate. That seems really good. I don't know why I haven't thought about this. I can block here, so hey, check this out. I'm gonna like this one, guy. Tunic, spinal, 2-card spinal. Then they would attack. I would block probably. So we're gonna overpitch this. Arsenal bats. Block. Block with this. Ooh. Yogins. Back. And block with a single card here. You can just see, like, this is just me going on autopilot playing this deck. Also, pitch stacking obviously matters. You terrace under this turn. Take a bunch of damage. Do so, arsenal that, or even block with it. Alright, I like the seismic stir card. It's good. Okay, so here we can go time, pitch, go get polarized. We block. Matter the order, play polarize. This is just standard Bravo stuff at the moment. Man, this, when you draw this with this, it's like kind of crazy, isn't it? Now I get this freaking cranial. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. Not that. 6. Oh, I don't have them. I guess I'm blocked with them. Huh. Always check your graveyard. Don't do what I just did. Not that. Save the imposing so I can search for that when I draw a doo-doo hand. So I can give one card, search, get that, arsenal. God, I love this. This is so fun. I know this might look boring, but I'm having a great time. Oh, this is what I live for. Yes. All right, let's see if Abby's. Abby, you're slacking. It's not there yet. Let's play against a real person. This is cool. Belt table, no thank you. That. Open CC public. Somebody play me. You guys know you want to see it. This coffee has kicked in. My energy is off the charts. Oh man. Hold up. Bro. This is what I live for. God. No, there's just a lot of nostalgia for it at this point. It's like if I went back and played Magic and I played like Check Pile or something, I'd have a blast. Stuff. Add value per turn. That's me. That's me. Value. I used to play Check Pile and Magic. You guys don't know what that is. The Legacy deck that played Death Threat Shaman, Snapcaster Mages, Jace the Mind Sculptor. It was just like mid-range control-y. Also played a little bit of Jund in Legacy. Or, sorry, not Legacy, in Modern. Jund in Modern, big fan of that. All right, how do we do into them? We do this. Play tech plating, why not? Forgot we had tech plating in this deck still. We want all of this stuff. I'll go with these strikes too. Let's go. Watch me get destroyed. Surprisingly 0%, yeah. I love Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf. Before I stop playing Magic, like, pretty consistently, Twinning Blade. They're attacking me turn 1, pitching that. I'm gonna block like this. Maybe I'll block one more card. This is super sketch to me. They Twin Blade me again. That would be bad. Okay, send on Discord. Sorry, my hands were slow. Guardian, forgive me. Well, we're in the middle of a game now. I can't do it. technically, I should have pitched the blue because it represents pummel, but I mean, either way, our turn doesn't change. It just gives them more opportunities to make a misplay, right? That's what you want. Getting messages left and right. Are you there, brother? Ooh, stink below. Hmm. Aw. Damage. Oh, with heave, that card is insane too. Ooh. Do this because I don't want him to pump over. How experienced do you think you need to be before going to time? You don't need to be that experienced. You get to draw a card, are they giving it go again? Probably. Are you saying with like Guardian in general? Like with a deck like this, I don't think you'll be going time a whole lot. Because it is like mid-range, right? Like you're going back and forth. But okay, they did break. Interesting. Huh. I'm greedy. Let's go. I want to blow you up. Got a chicken token. Figured it out. They should make sequence. They should make Sea Lace Sarong Ranger Guardian. See, errata that. Be kind of good. So, let me preface. I actually think this play is like trash. I don't think that's correct at all to use your equipment like that. It's very silly. So I can block 3 here with like basically no downside. I'm gonna do that. I almost got like bonk pilled, but I think it's correct just to arsenal this and have some insurance on whatever they're gonna be doing. Right, because they seem to be very, you know, traditional Dawnblade almost. Like, have some D-reacts here and there. Playing some Dawn too, that's something interesting. Keep in mind. Oh, I missed your other comment. I apologize. When you play Guardian in paper, do you notice you having issues with going time? Never. Never. Once you get the playline sequence, it's really not that bad. Fuck. Holy shit. Alright, fine. Take my cards. Speed with speed. Yeah, that Dauntless card is super annoying sometimes. Okay, 1 card. Ooh. This hand could be good. Nine again, bro? Yo, chill. Bro, chill. Super into this situation. Do I value keeping this card? to give them whatever extra card I have. That seems like... So I'll give this, I can block here, get rid of this, potentially draw a blue attack, or I can go with the high roll play. The high roll. Let's go with this one, because they have an agility anyway. Okay. Yikers. Alright. Guess we're swinging for 4. What was that? Embolden? Yeah. Man. Dominate, go. That's great. We're gonna take some damage this turn. They want to enable chat. And they're confused about their legs. Yeah, they're like, they're saying they're tricked because they forgot using them. Yeah, because they had dominate this turn, it's like pretty hard to get around. I could give some armor, but I used it so early that I'm not like super concerned about it. This is denying them reprise too. 8 damage, like 2 card 8. It's kind of over. Oh, sure, whatever. Double vigor token. So now I'm gonna send a crippling raw. This is where, like, having tunic, I could crippling pummel. Pretty strong. I do like having the armor though. Having tectonic plating with the pulverize when you like make those play lines, especially turn 1, like that is better in specific situation. But tunic in long games is obviously the better play. Especially when you can pummel, like a CNC off of 1 card. Like Bravo better than Victor or Jarl. I just like Bravo in general, man. I think he's fun. We were talking about a whole bunch of different lists, and out of nowhere I was like, what about Seismic Eruption Bravo? And then I tried it, and it seems good. It seems good. It's like basically arsenling a blue, which is really good. Got all of Bravo. I know, he's so good. Who? I think I'm willing to give 9 here. Just to like deny the counter. Got him. Gotta get the counter off, you know? No! My hammer. So fun. So fun. Okay. I am in not a great position. Keep drawing stuff like this. If I had an arsenal, it would be much better. So this attacks if it has greater than twice its power. It doesn't currently. So, do I think I can stop this? That is the question. I have one floating attack. I could give him the whole shebang. What if I don't? I don't block this. I'm not gonna block this. We're having fun here. Front pump, Dawn Blade. Is not as scary. Could be a glint too. I haven't seen a glint. This one, sure. Now it gets to go again. Or no, it doesn't. Okay. Hit him with the skibbity bop, you know? So here's some damage, my boy. Yeah, they didn't expect that. That line is better when you have Tunic as well. So, take notes. Take notes. Discarded a puncture. Okay. Let's go with you and you. I like that. I'm blocking, over blocking there, because I can't really do anything anyway. Uh-oh. Okay. Honestly, that's not super scary. Okay, now it's a little more scary. 6 again if I block with an action. Destroy the arsenal. I don't like that. Like that at all. Okay, that's annoying. Now I'm gonna do this. There's a world where I get rid of this, but I'm actually okay with it. Actually, I probably should have gotten rid of that. If I got a blue here, it'd be better. So I don't have to use the Sea Strike. Now it's 7. 6 versus 7, but I get an arsenal. That was wrong. Because either way, I bought him the card if it's not blue. So. We're about to know. First card on the left. Yep. Should have done it. What is the likelihood that they have something that I care about? This might be a D-React. I'm gonna give them straight 6, with the expectation of this being a D. Because there was an argument to like potentially doing Terra Thunder, but we're early enough in this game that they still probably have sync belows and shelters and stuff. Because I think they're playing shelter. Yeah, they have a shelter, so that is likely to be a D-React. So that's this is a D-React. That for sure gave us that information. So they're not going to be able to get go again on this. I don't care as much. It's damage. They're likely to use this D-React here. This is like, oh, use it on something. Oh, there you go. Makes sense, huh? Wouldn't be surprised if this was another D-React. We're at turn 13. See 1, 2, 3. On the D-React. I have my own D-React. Okay. Windy Blade is so I'm gonna block 7 here. Essentially bait out the react. Fine. An arsenal back. Color. Plot. We're early enough in so I have a good amount. Ooh, eruption. Not great. Not great in this specific hand, but we got Sink Below to bail us out. We will eventually get to attack. I expected them to try to go over the top there. Really did. Surprised they didn't. They're having a big think. I have approximately 1 billion D-Reacts. Hey, we got a blue. Not that scary, not that scary. Send 6. Alright, now I feel pretty good. I got a D-React and Arsenal. I can just start swinging the hammer, and then I have enough life total to be able to pivot back whenever I draw a closer. So like my Crippling Crush that I pitched earlier. Okay. Alright, Steel Blade. I'm willing to give 6 here. fine. They are not pumping on top. Very weird. Now this looks like pummel. They might actually respect it. Probably not, but... Me when putting tech plate in. Okay. I'm like pretty willing to take this, and if they decide to go like crazy shit. Dominate. That was our pivot. We found it. Shelter. Think. You're not dead. You're good. Also pitch to red. Yeah. Tech plating grid. So I'll make 3 surges. I can dominate here, arsenal. I'm gonna block with this. That was dumb. There was no reason to block with that. It covers blade flurry. That's it. No! Twinning blade! Okay, fine. That costs 1. Let's do this. Oh, they're just dead. Neat. Alright, I like that card. The card is very cool. Hi, Nico. I love you. Alright, let's look at the thing. Jack go burr. Alright. This is what everybody wanted. Thank you, Abby, for finding this. I immediately look at it and see Iron Rot. Yeah, the new cards are so cool. Alright, so we got Bravo, Crown of Providence, Tunic. Hey, that's a good start. I appreciate it, Aggro. We got Iron Rot Gauntlet. That one... If we're playing Commoner and you exclude these 2 cards, then sure. Iron Rot, hey, this is the OG. You can't disrespect the OG, right? This guy's goated. So, CNC, yeah, makes sense. Crippling, makes sense. 1 Pulverize, sure. Yeah. One's good. Pummel, Spinal, Zealous, and Yellow Macho. It's alright. Righteous. That was probably fatigue. I can see where ChatGPT got this, but not a big fan. This should just be Starstruck. Where's the Starstruck? Starstruck in there. So, yep. Disagree. We got Buckling, Choke, Cranial, Debilitate, Disable, Imposing, Rouse, Showtime, Stonewall, Confidence. I'm a fan of this card. I actually like this card a lot. But not really in this style of what looks like to be mid-range Bravo. So, this card was always really cool. I really like this card. But this is not the world where you probably want to be playing Stonewall. Who knows, though? Like, could come back. I got Alpha Foils. Terra Sunder, this should be a 3-of in an Anthos style deck. We don't even have a weapon. Never mind. Card sucks. Card sucks. No weapon. Can't play it. Unmovable. Boy, we'd be blocking. We got Fates, Sinks, Staunches, more Stonewall. Sign me up. Oh, hey, there's the 3rd Terra Sunder. We found it. Unmovable. This whole deck just blocks and never attacks. Whole deck blocks. Pummel. I guess I'll pummel Command and Conquer. Alright. Yeah, this is a spicer. Look at this. My bad, dog. That was not me. That was me not putting it in. Oh. Oh, okay. So you just made an uh-oh. So you had no animals. Oh my gosh. It's supposed to be in there, I guess. Alright, let me refresh. Put it in. Is this the whole deck? That's... How many cards is it? 53 plus 21 is 74. 5, 6, 7, 78. I'm missing 2 cards. 21 plus 53. Yeah, I was missing 2 cards. Is this a pink or a red shirt? This is a red Bowser shirt. Gotta hype up the Switch too, you know? Gotta hype up the Switch, buddy. I was like, nah, ain't no way. Chat didn't make any sense. Okay, is it there? Okay, Anthos is there. Thank God. Thank God. All right, 21 plus 53, 74. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 79. So we're missing an entire card in this deck. Honestly, though, this is not the worst. I could see somebody going to the Armory, bringing this deck, and doing fine. But, I mean, this is just way too much. Way too much dereacting, like, stuff like this. Like, it has very little go again. Well, actually, no, it's not terrible. 6 go again is fine. It doesn't have Starstruck. Starstruck is, like, one of the main reasons to play. Obviously, your specializations and whatnot, so... I'm actually kind of impressed that it did this well. It needs the better equipment slots, but I mean, the basis of the deck is there. Makes sense. Play a game with it on Talishar, you got it. You got it. Just for you, we're playing a game with it on Talishar. Are you ready? Oh boy. Oh, this isn't what you meant? That's crazy. It's unfortunate. You know what? Why would we crippling when we can stonewall and attack for 4? Seems way better. Oh man. So good. Ooh, I can tunic CNC. Look how value I'm getting off of this stonewall. We'll keep that on top. Why not? This is stupid. Got him. We got their non-existent arsenal. Ooh. We can crippling crush. Let's block with a crippling so we can play a crippling. Makes sense, right? All these dance reacts. What a hand. Alright. Bail me out. Give me something better. Alright, this deck is trash. He's got too much defense, so that's the problem, right? So, which sounds weird coming from a Guardian player, right? Too much defense. Having this is way too much. Way too. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 21 defensive style cards. It's like crazy. Goliath Gauntlet isn't a little better. Nope. Nope. It's probably better than this if you're like picking between the two, obviously. Display a blocking glove. How would I fix this? I would just play my other deck. Okay. So fix it with minimal changes. If you wanted to keep the core structure of this, I would cut movable or staunch, probably immovable. I would cut stonewall confidence. I would add, this would be main board, like all the time. You'd have a better glove, probably play Civic Steps just because it's more value. Then probably another go-in attack like E-Strike since you're playing Tunic. Then you just have like your package of playing like the shield hammer. You cut one of these to like supplement. Burning it is not an option. Yeah, probably do that. But yeah, obviously change this to Starstruck. Change this to something else. Turn this into like one membranes and a pulverize. Put that in the sideboard. It'd be fine. It'd be fine. But you have to have the specs. Anything, you have to play all the specs. That's the big thing. Specs are broken. This card, broken. When it hits. That's a big number too. Number good. Alright. Well, that was a trip. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. We were kind of all over the place. Talked a lot about the results of new LLing. Chad did half and half. Chad did half of a halfway okay. Yes, it like got the base structure of the deck. I figured it was gonna be like 10 blues and then a bunch of trash. So it actually did something a little bit better. But yeah, with new LLing, decks like this can exist, and I actually think this might be okay. Like, you just get better immovable. You get Seismic Eruption that is an arsenable blue that you can pitch, basically. Like, that's super crazy insane. And then any good Crush effect or Guardian attack, it doesn't have to be Crush, any good Guardian attack that comes out of Master Pack that you can just slot in over something else here, likely Chokeslam or E-Strike if you don't need the extra go again. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Perfection. So, all right, it's gonna be it. Been a decently long stream. We might play a little bit more of this. We might brew a little bit more later. Talk about some other stuff. But appreciate everybody hanging out. Appreciate the energy. Lots of chatting, and we'll aim for that next week on Thursday as well. So be sure to hang out with me. Have a good time. We will see you later. Good luck in your nats if you still got them. Bye.